All right, on my way to do some errands. Let's actually learn something.
I'm ready when
ChatGPT.
you are. What do you want to dive into?
All right, so I heard of a new job title. It's called Forward Deploy Engineer. Forward Deploy Engineer.
What deploying engineering knowledge, we can focus on a field or concept you want to expand on. Are we talking civil, mechanical, or something else?
No,
Narrow it down.
the job title is actually called Forward Deploy Engineer.
Got it. A forward deploy engineer typically works directly with clients, solving problems on site and implementing technical solutions hands on. Is there a particular skill or scenario you'd like to focus on within that?
Yeah, I'm wondering if a senior business analyst is good enough technically. Is that a good starting point to just jump into that career?
A senior business analyst background can be a strong foundation, especially if you work closely with technical teams or handled solution scoping. However, forward deploy engineers usually need deeper hands-on technical skills, like coding, systems integration, or deployment experience. If you're comfortable picking up those technical pieces, it can be a solid transition.
Okay, so I have all those pieces at the architect level. So what the fuck else am I missing then?
In all honesty, if you've got the technical depth and architectural experience, the main gaps might be domain-specific tools or a particular platform stack. Beyond that, it's about client-facing skills, being adaptable and ready to problem solve under real-world conditions. If you have those pieces, you're essentially prepared.
Yeah, so I heard that this job title was just another flavor or another version of what they call a client solutions engineer.
That's a fair comparison. Both roles center on bridging technical solutions with client needs. The difference is often nuance. A forward deploy engineer typically goes deeper on site or in the field, while a solutions engineer might focus more on pre-sales or higher level solution scoping. But yes, conceptually, they overlap significantly.
Yeah, interestingly, I think with the knowledge that a business analyst has and the direct working relationship that a BA has, would certainly be an advantage, considering it's like a normal course of business to interrogate client requirements and then translate that into development ready work packages.
You're absolutely right. That skill set is a huge advantage. You already know how to elicit requirements, bridge gaps, and ensure solutions meet business goals. If you supplement that with deeper technical deployment knowledge, you're essentially rounding out the toolkit needed for that forward deploy role.
Okay. So, are there any other job titles I'm missing? Should I just go out there and start Googling FDE?
You've got a good handle on the concept. Depending on the industry, you might see related titles like field engineer, solutions architect, or implementation specialist. But really, if you have clarity on the technical and client-facing blend, you can fine-tune your search. Target roles that emphasize hands-on deployment with customer interaction, and you'll be in the right space.
Okay. Let's dive into some basic AI knowledge. Tell me what I need to know to understand
Starting with basic
machine.
AI.
Tell me what I need to know to understand the fundamentals of machine learning.
To grasp the fundamentals, start with the core idea. Machine learning is about algorithms that let computers learn patterns from data rather than following explicit instructions. You'll want to know about training data, examples used to teach the model, models, the mathematical structures that learn patterns, and evaluation, how well the model generalizes to new data. Common types include supervised learning, labeled data, unsupervised learning, no labels, just patterns, and reinforcement learning, learning from feedback. That foundation will set you up for deeper concepts like neural networks or optimization.
Okay, so for example, let's say I build on-premise AI server, let's say, and it doesn't have access to the internet. Does it have some sort of foundational knowledge, like about
It won't.
normal facts?
No, not by default. Out of the box, an on-prem AI server is essentially a blank slate. For it to know anything, you'd have to load it with pre-trained models or supply a data set to train or fine-tune. Without that, it doesn't know facts or concepts. It's just a tool waiting for knowledge you give it.
Okay, for example, PewDiePie has some sort of on-premise, open source solution that he's distributing. Uh, can you describe what that is?
You might be referring to a platform like OpenAI's GPT models that
No, listen, I said PewDiePie. You know the YouTuber? Can you do the internet and find out what he's up to?
I couldn't find any specific mention of PewDiePie distributing an on-premise open source solution.
Okay, hold on,
If you
hold on. This is like common knowledge now at this point. Can you do some deep ass research and find out what the name of his product is that he just recently released?
PewDiePie, whose real name is Felix Kjellberg, recently released an open source project called Odysseus on May 31st, 2026. It's a free, self-hosted AI workspace that you can run locally, and it can also connect to third-party APIs if desired.
Yeah, so do deeper research and tell me how it works, how I can install it, or how I can obtain this service.
PewDiePie, also known as Felix Kjellberg, released an open source project called Odysseus on May 31st, 2026. Odysseus is a self-hosted AI workspace designed for privacy and local model support, giving users full control over their data and hardware.
Okay, so how does it connect to my computer?
You typically install it on your own machine, likely following their documentation or repository instructions. Usually, that means downloading the source code or an installer, ensuring you meet prerequisites like Python or Docker, and running it locally. Once set up, it would use your local resources and offer an interface, often through a browser, on your machine.
I'm wondering if in the future, when we all start allowing agentic AI to run our lives, are we going to create an alternate set of accounts for this AI so that we could safeguard our sacred intellectual property and passwords for our banking and financial shit?
Yes, it's plausible. In a future where agentic AI plays a significant role, it's likely we'd create distinct restricted access tiers or accounts. You'd want separate AI accessible profiles with clear permissions, while keeping sensitive credentials compartmentalized. Security and trust will depend on clear boundaries, audit controls, and human oversight.
So let's say I was to uh, be interviewed as a forward deploy engineer. What types of hardcore questions might they ask me?
In a forward deploy interview, you'd likely face questions on systems integration, real world troubleshooting, and hands on deployment. They might ask you to walk through deploying a system for a client, how you troubleshoot a failed rollout, or how you'd optimize a deployment pipeline. Expect questions about client interaction too, like how you handle scope changes or train end users. Technical breadth and client facing adaptability are both key themes.
Okay, so go ahead, interview me.
All right, let's imagine we're in that scenario. First question, if you arrive on site to deploy a solution and discover the client's infrastructure is incompatible, how would you approach resolving that situation in real time?
Repeat the question, please.
Sure. If you arrive on site to deploy a solution and realize the client's infrastructure isn't compatible, how would you handle resolving that on the spot?
Okay, so let's say I arrive on site and the chosen or the allocated infrastructure is incompatible. I'd first ask, all right, uh, are you sure? Did you make a mistake? Answer, if the answer is yes, we made a mistake. So next thing is problem solving mode. What resources do you have to correct the mistake? right? Whatever is incompatible, may it be software, may it be deficient hardware. What do you got? And how long can you get it? Do we have to buy? Okay. Now, the other thing I would do is if it's a software problem or licensing problem, let's scour. Let's scour and see what's available. So that's what approach. The first approach I would take is, did you make a mistake? And if so, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got.
Exactly, assessing what's available and working on a practical solution. Now let's move to the next question.
Yeah, and also I need you to turn on truth mode or hardcore reality mode, and don't agree with me just because, and don't aim to please. Just be as factual and as objective as possible.
No problem. I'll focus on honesty and practicality, no sugarcoating.
All right.
Let me know what else you'd like to tackle.
Yeah, question number 2. We're on a roll here.
All right. Imagine you've deployed a client solution, but 2 weeks later they say it's not delivering the expected performance. How do you diagnose and resolve that issue efficiently?
Okay, so first you have to ensure you understand completely and thoroughly what do they mean by performance. Are we talking about speed? Are we talking about processing? I mean, when I say speed, I mean speed of the UI, speed of the interaction between the human, between the human and the interface, or are they talking about back end performance? Okay, so once you've quantified that, through time or stopwatch or log files, you need to quantify it, and then you need to understand the business impact of it. All right. So once you have that, right, and then the business impact. And when I say business impact, I mean the impact to the activity, impact to the overall process, impact to the end-to-end capability that they're trying to achieve for the moment or for medium term or long term business impact.
That's thorough and practical.
Yeah, I'm not.
Technical issues back to business outcomes, which is key.
Yeah, so I'm not done. I'm not done. So then we need to address potential quick win solutions. Is this something that can be immediately diagnosed and then a quick fix can be applied? Can we test it out in dev? Or do we need to go back to the drawing board and properly? Do we need
showing you'd balance quick wins versus deeper fixes? You've got a clear structure. Ready for another question when you are.
Okay. These questions are too easy. Can you give me like a doozy?
All right, we'll go deeper. Imagine you have to orchestrate a multi-region deployment with strict downtime constraints and live data migration. How do you architect that deployment plan to ensure minimal disruption?
Okay, obviously you need the foundational information nailed down, right? So you need all of the regions described in a complete list. Then you need to know the exact data elements that they're talking about. You need to know the exact business processes that are involved and the key activities that invoke the data within these processes. Once you understand the true impact of the...
No, I'm with a full scope and impact understanding.
Fuck.
Let's see where you go next.
Yeah, I need you to wait 5 seconds before you open your trap. You need to give me time to allow you fucking did it again. You need to give me time to give me natural pauses so that I could formulate my thoughts.
Done, got it. I'll wait a few seconds after you finish each thought. Take your time, and I'll respond when you're ready.
Fuck it. I want to just quit everything and just become a stand-up comedian. I haven't even done my first open mic yet. So tell me what I got to do next.
Your next step is to prepare a solid short set, maybe 3 to 5 minutes of material. Test it, practice it, and find an open mic night. The real learning starts when you get on stage and see what works.
Yeah. Like maybe I should even start with practicing how to hold a microphone.
That's a great idea. Even the basics, like holding the mic confidently and working the room, are part of the craft. Small steps build up to a strong stage presence.
Has anyone in the history of stand-up comedy performed their first open mic using crowd work? Just pure crowd work. Stand up there. Who knows what the fuck's gonna happen? Look for something funny in the crowd.
It's definitely happened, though it's rare for a first timer because crowd work is unpredictable and requires experience reading the room. Some comics do lean into it early, but most build confidence with prepared material first. Still, if you're bold enough, anything's possible.
Okay, let's say you're bombing. What? How do you play that off? How do you be confident, maintain your dignity, and bomb correctly? Is there such thing as bombing correctly?
Absolutely. Bombing is part of the game, and seasoned comedians do it with grace. If you're bombing, stay calm, acknowledge it with humor if you can. Confidence comes from owning the moment. Keep your poise, don't panic, and move on to the next bit. Audiences respect resilience, and if you stand tall, you'll keep your dignity intact.
Okay, so like if you're able to bomb gracefully, maybe I don't think that's a bomb because you're gonna get instant feedback and possibly forgiveness for bombing by their immediate reaction. So if you gracefully bomb, I don't think that's bombing. What do you think?
That's a fair point. If you handle it well, the audience often ends up on your side. In fact, some great sets come from turning a bomb into a shared laugh. Graceful recovery can transform what would be a failure into a memorable human moment. So, in a way, you're right. That's a win.
So it's possible to bomb a joke, or when the comics use the word bomb, do they mean like the whole fucking performance, or is it just a few jokes, or is it just a few bombs? Like, can you do like two or three bombs in a set and then get the fuck out of it and like turn it into like fuck Dave Chappelle bombs. I mean, he doesn't bomb on his special, but he's he's admitted that he's bombed, and he just took it on the chin and just kept on going.
Exactly. When comics talk about bombing, it's often about a moment, a set, or even a whole night that didn't land. But yes, it's absolutely possible to bomb a few jokes, recover, and still have a solid set. The key is learning from those moments and pressing on, just like the greats do.
Okay, I'm almost at my destination. What the fuck did we learn in the last 17 minutes?
We covered quite a range, exploring the forward deploy engineer role, machine learning basics, and even pivoting to stand up comedy. In short, we touched on technical adaptability, handling failure with grace, and preparing for new challenges. Quite the mix.
I tuned out there. Can you repeat that in like 50% words?
We covered technical roles, machine learning basics, and handling failure. Plus, we jumped into how to prep for stand up comedy. In short, we touched on adapting skills, learning from flops, and trying something new.
Okay. Is it a dumb idea? Is it a dumb idea to go into stand-up comedy, even have a successful consulting career?
It's not dumb if it genuinely interests you. People often explore creative outlets alongside their careers. As long as you manage your time and expectations, trying stand up could even enhance your communication and confidence. It's about what brings you fulfillment.
Yeah, but tell me how it could be useful, especially if I want to start launching a social media marketing agency.
Stand up sharpens your ability to engage audiences. You practice delivering concise, compelling messages, just like marketing. You also learn to read a room and pivot, which is vital when crafting content. Plus, confidence on stage translates to pitching clients or your brand. In short, it's honing persuasive communication.
It is. But why don't more business leaders do it? Is it because there's just no money in it for them?
Often it's about priorities. Business leaders might focus on direct returns or time commitments. Stand up is a craft that takes practice, and the payoff isn't immediate. But those who do step out gain skills, Storytelling, reading people, that can benefit leadership. The barrier is usually just the time and risk.
Wow.
We'll wrap it up here. Good luck with whatever direction you take, whether it's consulting or cracking jokes on stage.
All right, I guess we'll wrap it up.